Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Joshua with Tree Industries. Hope everybody's doing well today. Going to be doing some play testing for the latest release of Ultimate Disc Golf. Pretty much just getting the game loaded up here. We'll get started in just a minute. Okay, so we've got some new changes to the. It used to be called the quick round. We've actually changed it to casual round. Felt a bit more appropriate. So let's see here. We've got some pretty fun stuff going on. The daytime, the kind of the skylights on this menu used to kind of just it would go through the day-night cycle really fast. Now it actually switches depending on the round setting. Just a little visual cue there. And we made some big updates to the dynamic weather system. So we definitely had a few complaints and just, you know, we're in alpha, we're trying to test the weather system, and obviously it left a few things to be desired. So we were working hard on that and made some good changes. So now you can actually enable or disable the dynamic weather altogether. And when you disable it, you can actually choose the weather conditions that you want for the round. So when it's disabled, it will stay on that weather type the whole round. It will not dynamically change. If you have dynamic weather on, it will actually basically go off of some new probabilities that we have set up. So even with dynamic weather on, there shouldn't be nearly as much like constant rain on and off. It's much more intuitive, is the best word I can use. So we'll go ahead and disable it. Hey, what's up, Spinner? Appreciate the question. We don't have an exact date yet. Right now, we're just trying to take it day by day. I can say that some of the updates in this version definitely help us get towards consoles. So this menu right here in the last release, actually it was hard to pick your character with a gamepad. You had to use the mouse to double click on your custom character. So we just got this menu updated to where it's fully controller compatible. But it's just those little things like that. We're going through, we got quite a few left at the moment. Just tentatively, not really a date, but we're hoping to be on at least Xbox game preview by mid-beta. And so we have this release and one more release after this one before we'll be hitting beta. So, timeout, mid-beta, it could be later this year if all goes well. I appreciate the question. Okay, let's get a round started up here. We'll just do Breezy Pines. Let's do a morning. No problem, Spinner. This release definitely took a little longer than we had hoped, but for anybody who's not on our Discord or anything, we have kind of talked about it a little bit. Basically, we updated the whole game engine build to use Unreal Engine 4.26, which is a pretty major update. We didn't initially have this planned, but there were some things we really, really wanted to do with the game that having the game on 4.24 was just kind of holding that back. One of the big things with this latest release that's getting ready to come out is the game will now default to DirectX 12, which before it was defaulting to 11. So if you have a newer graphics card, you will get some enhanced rendering features, a little bit better performance. Okay, it looks like the guy animation on the putt. We did some new animations based on AI for this release. Looks like his putt was a little fast. I don't think the female is quite so speedy on her putt, so we might test that in a little bit. If you look at the feed, we got some new Footstep Effects based on the Unreal Engine Niagara system. Just a little more nuance. Ooh, I'm liking that shot. Looks nice. So you can see down at the bottom here where it says show preview, we've actually started adding some kind of more customized icons and fonts. So there's a couple little UI improvements. We're just going to keep dropping those in with each release with bigger things happening. So if I had a gamepad hooked up, it would actually show a different icon. It would show a circular icon. So we're starting to customize some of that stuff from keyboard and mouse as opposed to what will eventually be on the consoles. So this is actually going through a redesign at the moment. So this is not the final look for the game on this forward there. Definitely liking the new backhand animation that we have here. So this is something I'm really excited about for this release. You can see we now have what they call inverse kinematics, so the feet will actually kind of more accurately plant to the ground. So if you're kind of throwing from the side of a hill or you're throwing downhill, when you're looking at your player, it's going to look a lot more natural. And all that stuff's going to carry over to the multiplayer. Okay, let's back out of here. Alright, I'm just going to make a random female character so we can test out some of her animations. Okay, so I did find one texture here. So almost everything went great with the update to Unreal Engine 4.26. I've been really happy, but one thing that we ran into was the Substance plugin. So some of the newer outfits that we've been starting to add, we've been using Substance Painter, and some of the textures with the update to the plugin just would not. There's this thing called the Substance graph. I won't go into all the gory details, but it needs to rebuild this graph for the textures, and I'm not the only one that has had this problem where it keeps running out of memory on me trying to rebuild these graphs. So we're probably going to have to switch out one or two of these. I'm going to mark this on my list here. All right. I'm going to test the other character. Oops. All right, there we go. So I wanted to test out the foggy weather type. Overall, pretty good, but it looks like our heat. We have to go back in there, and our little heat waves was just a little effect. Probably don't want those on when it's foggy. Kind of messes up the effect there, so make a note of that. And that's kind of where we're at. Almost everything's good. We just got little things. Some of this we probably, might not even worry about fixing for this release later. So if it's cosmetic, I'm not really worried about it. The main thing is to get a release out that fixes the whole weather system. And all that seems to be working pretty good. Definitely one of the things that I am most excited about is we now have the angle of release going into this version. So anybody who's been patiently waiting for that, it's going to be in there. We still have some tweaks to make, but you can definitely do a lot with it. We're going to have to make some adjustments to a few of the discs. From what I've seen so far, we really haven't. We put the release angle in there, we kind of used the physics that were already set up. We really didn't tweak too much. So there might be a couple discs that don't fly exactly the way we want them to yet, but really there was a lot that actually worked pretty well. So you can start using the mouse wheel now to select Heiser or Anheuser, or just throw them in flat. Okay, there's a good example of where we're set up for a shot, but now our feet are planted much more appropriately. Same thing when we kind of take a stance here. Oh, that looks pretty. So anybody that's been following the game for a little while will probably also notice that there's some wind also happening now. So we don't really have, we're still finishing the UI, but it is in there and it is affecting the disk flight, and you can set it in the menu as far as like a casual round how windy you want it. So it's all essentially working. We just still need to finish up a kind of a good indicator for the UI. Just to add to that, I think there's a little bit of foliage that still has to be added to kind of the this wind system to make sure that it actually sways in the wind and everything. Okay, one thing I did notice that's going to be important to do before we do the final build and release this. Looks like the disc angle does not reset after each throw, so I think we need to add one little check there. I'll make a note of that. And that'll take me probably about 30 seconds to add a little check to reset that after each throw. Alright, awesome. That was horrible. Alright, so her putt looks about the right speed. So one thing I'm happy about with this one, we're able to get the celebration sequences much more buttoned up, very polished now. Working on all the courses, we added like a little depth of field effect now, so it looks a little more cinematic. And you can also now skip them, even though we're trying to shorten them up. We're trying not to use any that are too extremely long. You can, I believe it's the left mouse button to skip the celebration sequences. Oh, ace run. Okay, foot planning looks good here, going downhill. So far, there's a couple little things, but I think anybody who's been kind of waiting to play the game again since the last release came out with the weather system that just didn't quite hit right, and I knew needed some work, but you know, I was, I guess, not that all surprised that a lot of our people on Discord and the community were basically saying, hey, it's hard to play right now. So I definitely understand that and appreciate everybody's patience. We've been working really hard to make this version take care of that and add a lot of other cool stuff. So hopefully it will be well received and you all can get back to playing the game without it like raining in your face every 2 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to take a mid-range and turn this over a little bit on the angle and kind of see what kind of flight path we get here. Probably could have put it a little higher. But overall, that's not bad. Oh, that's rough. Good thing I'm not too worried about my score. Some of the next couple of releases, we're going to be fixing this area over here, so a little bit unfinished, but we'll be adding blocking volumes to this course, so you can't kind of throw it off into oblivion, and adding a little bit more like perimeter foliage and stuff to make it feel more complete. We're also planning to put some kind of indicator to tell you whether you're currently Anheuser or Heiser. Ouch. The upper body is a little kind of bouncy right now with the new IK, so no worries. We're gonna be fixing that. It's not too bad, just a little bit here and there. can't buy a tree when you need one, right? Oh my gosh. I am really getting sidetracked now. I apologize, everybody. But, I don't know. It kind of looked like fun. I feel like we need to spatialize this audio a little bit on the splashes. This is a little thing, but it's kind of the same volume if you're just kind of shuffling your feet as opposed to like running through it. Alright, here we go. So one of the things that I'm going to be doing soon, we're going to be running some more video through this AI deep learning system that basically produces animations from just a single video file. And one thing that I haven't been happy with is the lean out mechanic itself works pretty well. I like it, and it's been well received, but the actual throw animation on especially the forehand lean out, I have never really been extremely happy with, and that's going to allow us to get some really realistic motion from that throw with this new process that we're using. Starting to get dark. Oh no. Lights on these bastards. Pretty sure they should be on by now. Alright, I'll make a note of that. So we actually did a lot of updates to fix the weather system. We actually did a lot of updates with the overall day-night sky, cloud, atmosphere system. think that requires a new call to these basket lights. So basket lights. Alright, well, still only at a small handful of things to fix, so that's great. All goes well, we should be getting the new release out later tonight. I think I had posted on Discord. We were going to try to do it yesterday, the day before, but as you can see, we're just still working through little things, but should be worth the wait. Anybody who's played the game before might be able to notice that the sky sphere that we have for the star map is a little bit more high res, looks a bit better. Alright, so that was some good testing. I'm going to take a 5-minute break here, get a drink, use the restroom, come back to do a bit more just to make sure, go through a couple more courses, double check, make sure there's nothing else that is kind of major or standing out that we need to make sure is done before we get this new release out to you all. Thanks for hanging out. Be back soon. All right, we are back. Gonna quit this round and start up a new one here. Do a little bit more testing. Okay, let's try one with the dynamic weather active. So we're still having a little bit of, I'd say, less performance on this course compared to pretty much most of the other ones. And I think I've nailed down why. We have this interactive water for water hazards, and it seems like having a whole bunch of these large lakes that are all interactive is what's causing our performance slowdown on this course. So I'm going to be looking at some ways to essentially switch out the more expensive water with kind of cheaper on resources water for ones that you're kind of not really close to on the course. And I'm hoping that should give us a significant improvement and make it more on par with the other courses in the game. That was definitely not what I was hoping to do. Oh well. I'm going to be fair to myself. I am trying to kind of test some of this angle of release and kind of see what type of shot shapes that we're getting out of it. Actually really want to try to do a roller. I flattened out. Hopefully this will roll straight into the lake. Ah, there's a little roller. Nice. Putter, we're getting pretty good rollers. Mid-range are going to definitely need some work. Oh man, I'm on fire. 2 double bogeys. Oh, so close. Alright, that's enough of that. I wonder if I can get it on the bridge. Oh, not with the forehand. Oh my gosh. Oh. Oh, sweet. Okay, looks like we need some, not for this release, but we need to put the wood physical material on the bridge. So basically to get the sound effect to trigger if the disc lands on it or kind of knocks against it. Alright. Just 15 throws, no biggie. So we're getting some pretty good rollers. The physics does, you know, kind of push a hyzer the right direction. There's a couple specific things that I'm looking at for the next version after this next release to, I guess, you know, improve the disc flight now that we have the angle release in there. So, you know, we need to look at how to create those more flex and you know, hyzer flip type lines. We're looking at those for the very next release after this one comes out. And once we got those, you know, that gets us pretty close to what we want for beta. playtesting. I believe that has something to do with the IK. Okay. So that wasn't happening in the unpackaged version. So this is why we do playtesting on a packaged version before we upload the live build. Technically, I can teleport, but it's something we want to go ahead and fix. So I'm lining up this shot to kind of talk about one of the next things. Well, we got lots of things coming, but with the updates to the sky system, there won't be much you see in this next version for one of the features that we implemented, kind of behind the scenes. But what we're going to be able to do is once we make the move to hopefully have some real courses included in the game, that the sky system can be set up to automatically set the sun direction and all those types of things based off of the longitude and latitude. So when we build out a real course, everything will kind of line up pretty easily, and that's kind of part of our development pipeline now. Ouch. We're not going to talk about that one. The little bug on the basket that happened there kind of helped me. So we'll make a note of that. As you can see, I did set this round to breezy, and you can kind of tell which way the direction, the wind is blowing based off these trees. But again, we'll have a UI element, but these ones are being affected. And I did notice that the weather is slowly changing. So the dynamic weather is working much, much better. It's not just like raining on and off every 30 seconds. Oh, I almost thought that was going to be a good recovery. Now we're going all the way down this hill. Notice that the putter seems to hold its angle a bit better than the drivers in the mid-ranges, which right now with the physics engine seem to want to be pulled towards flat, which is fine because we haven't really done much to compensate the actual disc flight again for the angle, other than what the built-in physics engine was already doing based off of the disc's physical weight, the size of it, its kind of density setting. So these are some of the things built into the core physics engine. One thing that the engine is not great at is specifically disc flight. It can do mass and things like that to a degree, and then we have to go in and kind of tweak it specifically for the very unique physics that a disc will have. That did not just happen. Alright, we've gotten a lot of good testing in. That's good. Alright, let's switch it up a little bit. see the wind system working on all the trees here. So you can see from that shot that the IK is also working on the spin putts, though there's a little bit of springiness. But this is the first version of the IK, so overall I'm happy with it. We'll be able to like really improve upon this. Where this right now, I mean, the only disc golf game I know of that really is going to have the throws with that type of advanced foot locking and things like that. And when we get to the multiplayer and you're able to kind of load into a course with your custom character, and then you're actually able to see other players' avatars, and then when they're throwing, you're also seeing that kind of foot placement. I think there's going to be a great level of immersion there that we're really excited about. Excuse me. I do apologize. I've been kind of fighting a head cold that our daughter brought home from recently being back in physical school. So it's been not the funnest week. So I just wanted to check the weather and the wind system on that level. Looks like it's working. Looks like this heavy fog is causing a little bit of performance lag on this one. The current version that's out, we actually didn't have a fog this heavy, so this is the first time we'll actually have like a foggy setting for the weather type. Let's see if I can get this to run a little bit better. There we go. So there's that wind in action. I thought we had pegged that one. Alright, so I'm going to probably go ahead and load back up the game. We got a small list, and then I got this one kind of more critical one. It has to do with the IK. We've been using the IK to kind of fix this bug where sometimes the throw won't trigger if you're on kind of like a rock. It would kind of trigger the falling animation is basically what's happening. Which, you know, for a game like ours, you're throwing on uneven terrain, so trying to get the animations work to where they look realistic. And, you know, if you're doing like a cross step or something on like a hill, or trying to straddle across like two different rocks and throw, you know, these are things that, you know, we want to make sure look realistic. And so, you know, we're getting to that point where a lot of it does, but we just got, you know, just a couple little areas where sometimes the wrong animation triggers. So we're just going to keep hacking away at that and until we get it 100%. And so that's what I'm going to get back to here. I appreciate everybody who's been kind of following along with the playtesting today. We are really excited about the next release, and, you know, it should be out very, very soon. If you're not on Discord, definitely make sure to join the UDG Discord. We definitely, you know, even if we're not doing a social media post, we'll post them there real quick for the community that's kind of following along closely. Hope everybody has a great day. Thanks again. Bye.